Hey guys, tag somebody in this message who was let go. Well, just somebody who should see this. Somebody who should see this, somebody who's being impacted by this. Tag your coworkers, tag anybody who you know who is feeling emotional today because there was some heavy news in the industry. And this week in particular, today in particular, lots of people have been let go. And I wanted to do this live. I went impromptu into our top bonus challenge group today. We have over 250 people in there, and I spent some time with them connecting, and I just thought I have to come connect with all of you who are not inside that group right now. Hey, Tacey, how are you? I hope I pronounced is it Tate? I'm so sorry, honey. I don't know how to pronounce your name properly. It could be Tasha. Could be Tasha. Hey, Dustin, what's going on? Yeah, guys, tag people who need to hear this message. There are a lot of people who are in a very frightened place, a place of despair right now, a place of uncertainty, sadness, and just feeling like, now what? Now what, right? The first one, Tacey? Okay, good, hon. Hey, Jennifer. So, as many of you know, because you've probably heard by now, there were a lot of layoffs today. And this is impacting people we love. It's impacting, share this out, tag people who need to hear this. And hey, how are you? And it's impacting a lot of people in our world. It doesn't feel good to be let go. I'm going to tell you a story because I was let go too. 2009, I just started Timeshare, and just at the very beginning of, I believe it was, mid 2009, like March, April. And I was excited, I was pumped, I was so thrilled to make sure you get this out there, guys. Tag people who you know are being impacted by this, and just share this out, because this message that I'm about to share with you right now is going to give people the hope that they need to feel. In 2009, I joined the industry. I had a failing business. The economy was in a total recession. I had a clothing company, and it was going under fast. Banks stopped lending my store's money, and I was greatly impacted. My credit got slashed. So all the credit cards that we had balances on, 10,000, 15,000, who knows what it was. We had to leverage every time we did a run of clothing. It was between $75,000 to $100,000. And all of a sudden we had like no buyers. We did high fashion clothing for big dogs, like fashionable and functional clothing for big dogs, dog, pet animal, that kind of dog. And all of a sudden there was no market for it. You want to put food on your table, or you're going to put a $100 plus jacket on your dog. I think you know what it was. You lost 2 from your team today. Oh, Jennifer, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, guys, if you lost anybody from your team today and you're feeling it, let us know. And you don't have to say, don't tag who they are, but just let us know that you're feeling this right now and how you're feeling specifically. And so all of a sudden I had no buyers. I'm like, what the heck? Our business just crashed down to like less than 30% of what we were making before, even less than that. We were sitting on so much inventory, and I had a factory of 100 people who used to sew our clothes, and it's like, now what? Now what, right? So I found myself having to look for a job. I couldn't all of a sudden I couldn't pay my bills. I was really frustrated. I was sad. I was disillusioned. My dream, my baby, my business was going under fast. So I found myself at a timeshare sales presentation for a career night. And listen, it sounded like it's all going to end well, but it doesn't initially. So I got hired. I remember walking up to the director of sales, Rick Sullivan, shook his hand, and I said, after hearing all the numbers, all the possibility, all the amazing income that I could make, and saying, wow, this is the hope that I was looking for. This is the way out. I remember feeling that in my body. Just got to talk about travel and vacation. This is amazing. Well, I walked up to Rick Sullivan, I shook his hand, and I said, Rick, I'm your next top sales rep. My name is Joni Dillon, I'm your next top sales rep. Of course, that happened initially. I started selling deals left and right. I was the rock star for weeks and weeks and months until I was not. Hit a wall, couldn't sell anything, couldn't give it away. We were in a recession and had nothing to do with my personal performance, I'll tell you that. It was all up here. Next thing you know, I broke through it finally, started selling again. No sooner did we get word at a meeting that this office is closing, and so are, I believe it was that day, if I can remember clearly, it's probably that day. Our managers, our directors, everybody knew about it. The directors did at least, and high up managers. None of the reps knew, unfortunately. And now what, right? Now what? So you've been shut down for a week, Jim? Yeah, really, really frustrating. So now what? And all of a sudden we were left with no job, all my hopes, all my dreams, everything that I thought was going to finally, I was going to pay back my bills, I was going to get my stuff together for the first time. I found myself at the, the depths of where I'd never been with money in my working career thus far. And it was a low place, and I finally started building it up a little bit, but not enough to pull myself out of the rears, if you know what I mean. Because when you're starting a business, it can cost a lot of money as well. So I'd been dumping money into my business like crazy. And when the economy started crashing, it's like dumping everything I had into my business, and I had none. And then we got let go. We got let go. They closed over 100 sales offices around the company. It wasn't just my company. It was pretty much every company you can think of shut down, consolidated, and we lost, some people say 3,000, some people say 4,000 reps in 2009. Okay, maybe some of you were impacted by this. Hey, Milo. And it was now a matter of, okay, what happens next? I went back, found myself really not knowing what to do next, really frustrated. Took me some time, but I want you to know I figured it out. And I was figuring it out. It wasn't like I had all this money all of a sudden, but I made a decision to shift. And it happened over time, okay? So here's the point of my story. Economy hit, tons of layoffs. I was impacted. I had no idea what to do. Could barely pay my bills. My boyfriend had to support me at the time in many ways. I had a new mortgage, relatively new mortgage payment, and I was freaking the you-know-what out. Can anybody relate to this? Can anybody relate? And so then I had to go out and I had to do what is called get resourceful. I had to get resourceful. I had to make ends meet. I had to do things I didn't want to do in order to make money, like go back to my job that I didn't want to be working at with Adidas at the time. And it was just, it's not what I wanted to do, okay? And it was part-time. It was not what I wanted to do. And here's what happened. You can totally relate. Anybody else relate? 9 months later, within a few months, I start finally pulling myself out of like this desperate, almost kind of dark place. But I had started doing the work right here. I'd started doing the work. I had just found the world of personal development. I started growing me. I started growing my mind. I made a decision this was not going to happen to me ever again. And I made a decision that I was going to change my life. So 9 months later, I was in a better place, not an incredible place, but a better place. And I decided to go say hi to my coworkers at the local resort that they all got transferred to. Now, let me tell you this. I forgot to mention, when they closed the resort down, they took 6 reps, I believe it was, of the 23 to 25 reps we had. I was newer. I did not get picked. I'd only been there about 4.5 months. I had great success, but I didn't get picked. And somebody got picked who was newer than me and not nearly as good as me, in my opinion. And I had a really hard time dealing with that. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this right now. And it's okay to admit to it. It's okay to admit to these feelings right now. And I really remember feeling like pissed off. Like, why the hell did they take her over me? Like, I was upset. I was really frustrated because I had all these dreams put into this timeshare bucket that I was like, man, I'm gonna do this thing. I can do this. I can change my life. I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can impact the world in a way, a positive way. I finally felt it. And then they didn't take me. They didn't pick me. And I felt ashamed. I felt not good enough. I felt like I'd failed my family again. Not only did I just have a failing business, not only was I not a doctor, an engineer, I was slanging timeshare, and then I got fired from timeshare or let go. Like, how does that shit happen, right? Only when the economy is crap does it happen, right? And it's exactly how you feel, Karina. I feel you, honey. I feel you. And went back 9 months later, went to my sales site, and I said hello to my old boss, Rick. Hey, I just want to say hi. Hey, Bogey. Hey, whoever was there, not Autumn, but Rick and all these people. And Rick looks at me and he says, Dylan, you want a job? I said, no, actually, I don't want a job right now. I didn't want a job. I had shifted out of that place of wanting a job. And I'd shifted out of that place of wanting a job all of a sudden. I was like, no, I'm just going to kind of barely make ends meet. I'm just going to grind. I'm going to have like 2 jobs and the freedom that comes with not working. And it was still hard, guys. It was hard to make ends meet for myself. I didn't have skills. I didn't have tools. I mean, I had a master's in business, but I wasn't utilizing them. My business just failed, right? And I didn't have the means and the resourcefulness to figure out how to pull out of that. So I kind of told him no, I didn't want a job. I was freaked out about what that commitment going back into timeshare meant. And finally, he convinced me before I left there, it's a great closer, to say yes. So he said yes. And mind you, everybody they kept were all the best reps, guys. 11 years in the business. Claudia had one of my dear friends, rest in peace, Claudia Fulkerson, love you. Had 13 years maybe at that time. David Boat, like all these people had all these years, and some of them were managers at that point. And then there's me, like total newbie who got hired back, had only worked on frontline. Now we were in a blended line, 70% in-house, 30% frontline, so owners and non-owners. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I had no idea. And I hadn't worked in 9 months. But I'll tell you what, I was determined. I was determined. I was determined that if I was going back into the workforce, if I was going back into timeshare, I never got to prove myself the first time. Who can relate? Anybody relate to not being able to prove yourself, knowing that you are capable of more and not having yet proved yourself, and maybe even being let go, or maybe you're just right now in a place that you don't have a job, you don't have tours, you have a job maybe, but no tours, but you haven't yet proved yourself. Guys, let's get this out there to people who need to hear this, okay? There's a lot of people who are really in an emotional funk right now. They are in a bad place. I have heard people having anxiety attacks, that in our top bonus challenge, they're talking about, which we're not talking about how to hit top bonus right now. That's not possible, okay? We're talking about all the tools to cope with the things that, actually all our top bonus challenges are here right now, which is awesome. So, all the things that we need to get through right now. And because it's closed, I wanted to come here and just share this message with you guys. Sorry. So let me go back to where I was. Man, I feel the weight of everybody right now. It's a lot. So if you can relate to that, it's a real emotion and a feeling to not having yet proved yourself. And I thought to myself, well, now's my time. It had been 9 months. I'd been let go. I made some money. I hit a wall. I came back a little bit. I got let go. And now's my time to prove myself. And I actually, the very first year that I came back, the first year, I beat everybody out. I hit President's Council, which is #1 rep at my sales site. President's Club. And every year after that, I got better and better and better. I never dropped down. I always increased my volume and my income earned by a lot of money every single year. And I wanted to tell you that story because many of you are in the place where you have lost some hope. You have lost hope, period, right now. And it is life tools matter right now. You've lost hope and you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling despair. Let me know what emotions you're feeling right now. You're feeling disconnected from your purpose, your vision. Like, what the heck? I have nothing right now. Not to mention all the heaviness of everything going on right now. See, then we didn't have this. We didn't have coronavirus then. We just had a recession, right? And this and the quarantine is now added on top of everything. So it's enough to make people kind of feel like they are losing their minds, right? So guys, I want you to know if you are impacted, if you have somebody in your life or your workplace, because you guys are family to one another, I know that you are. Who agrees with me on that? That your co-workers at work are your family. We spend more time with them than we do with other people in our life. Real talk. And so when somebody lost their job, it impacts you. And we feel it. So I want you to know, number one, that it's important right now for you to feel. It's important for you to feel your emotions. It's important for you to be able to communicate your emotions. It's important for you to be able to process what's going on with those you love or those you're connected with. It's important for you to feel the loss, because there is a loss. And when we can connect with that loss, we're allowing our body to grieve. Because if you have lost your job, there was a lot of energy, a lot of work, correct me if I'm wrong, who agrees? It was tied into that job, into becoming good at that job, or attempting to, and many of you never even got a chance to prove yourself. And when we lose something that big, there is a rattling of identity, because now many of you are thinking, who the hell am I? Who am I? Who am I without this? Who am I now? What does that mean about me? You're judging yourself in all kinds of ways, and just stop that. Stop that, please. What happened to you has nothing to do with who you are. It has no correlation with who you are as a person. And when you're ready to family, right? Hey, Joelle. Hey, Allie. Hey, Susie. When you're ready to begin to go from that place of feeling that loss, and you're ready to step into another place, that place is waiting for you. And I want you to start believing that life is not happening to you. This is not something that happened to you. What if this happened for you? If I didn't get terminated or let go, whatever you want to call it, furloughed, I don't think they paid me very, I don't know. I won't go into that. I got paid a little bit, but if that didn't happen to me back in 2009, I would have never, in my opinion, created the results that I created in my life. I would have never had the perspective that I had when I lost everything. Kept my house, thankfully. Kept my dog, still got him today. Lost the boyfriend soon after. But I lost a lot. And I promise you, if I didn't have that period of time to reflect, to go inside and see who is that person that created this outcome right now? Meaning not having any money, being in debt, having my credit card slash below my available limit. Like, how do you get credit card slash below your limit? They were doing that in 2009. We might do it again. But none of that has any impact on who you are. None of it has any impact on how you make it through. See, sometimes our greatest suffering can become our greatest gift. And if you feel like you're suffering right now, you have the ability to find the gift in this somewhere. It may not be obvious at first. It wasn't to me. But it's in there. And your life can turn around. It starts with a decision to never be in this situation again, a decision to not go through one recession, now maybe for some of you 2 recessions. This could be bigger than the last. In fact, many people think that it will be. I personally believe that it will be bigger than the last. It will be much bigger. So what are you doing in this time to prepare your mind, to prepare yourself? And what if you didn't have to suffer right now, but you could choose when you're ready, take your time. I want you to know that it's okay to take your time. But at some point, you gotta bounce out of it and go from being problem focused, meaning this happened to me, this is going on. It's easy to stay in a problem focused state. It's really easy. I stayed there. And then at some point, I realized I needed to shift into now what's the solution. Shifting into a solution-focused state helps us focus on, okay, so now what are my options? How can I now get resourceful to get out of this? How can I now become a resourceful person to pay my bills? Government's not bailing anybody out. I'm sorry, if you think $1,000, $1,200, whatever dollars, ridiculous dollars is going to help you, it's not. Nor is it their responsibility to help us. It's not. It's not. And I'm happy that people are getting that money who need it right now, but I promise you, the majority of the world is going to go spend that on some stupid stuff once they're even allowed to. Couldn't even buy a hard drive for my computer. I needed a new hard drive. Couldn't even buy one of those yesterday because Amazon was shut down for anything that was not essential. The world is shut down, you guys, for the first time. We are in unprecedented times. And on top of that, people are losing their jobs. It's effing uncomfortable. But I want you to know that it's not the end. This too shall pass. You will get through this. You will get through this scathed, or you can get through this empowered and having created a beautiful life that you never even dreamt possible. I want you to know in 2008 and 2009, if you don't already know this, more millionaires were made during those years than ever before in American history. If that's not hope, I don't know what is. Because I promise you those people were motivated by pain. I promise you those people were motivated by never ever wanting to be in the situation they found themselves in again. And if that in itself gives you a little bit of hope that you can change and that you will be okay, you will be okay. This industry is not going anywhere. It's here. I came back after 9 months. I could have probably come back after 4 months and had a job, maybe 3. I just didn't decide to go back and visit my sales site for 9 months. But the tours are going to start coming back. The tours are going to pick up. They're going to need more reps at some point in time. They are only doing what they have to do right now as a company to protect their asset, okay? They're only doing what they have to do. It's nobody's fault right now. This thing is something we couldn't have seen coming. So rock stars, feel, connect, let me know how I can help you. I'm going to start podcasting for you guys again, because you need it and we need it. We all need it. I need it. That's why I'm going to start podcasting again too. I want to start bringing you resources and tools to be able to listen to feel, to have at your fingertips, to feel like you are moving into an empowered place, to feel like you don't have to stay stuck with no options. There are options for you out there. There are a lot of options for you. It may just feel like there's nothing right now, and that's okay. But I want you to know, whatever you believe you need from me, can you reach out to me and connect with me and let me know what you want to hear, what you want to see, what you want to learn, what you want to, all of that stuff, okay? Whether you're in the industry anymore or not, we're giving it to y'all, to all of you, okay? At the 1% Life, the number 1% Life podcast on iTunes. You can start watching it now, listening to it now. There's plenty of things to get you resourceful and feeling better on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, or Spotify, all over. If you don't have an iPhone, you go to Stitcher, Spotify podcasts, etc. All right, guys, I just felt compelled to be here for you. If you're watching the replay, drop a 2. If you caught this live, drop a 1. Let us know how you're feeling. If you had a word to describe how you're feeling right now, today, maybe prior to this live, what is that word? And we can label the feeling and the emotion. We then can see what thoughts led to that emotion. And I was giving this feedback in the live that I did inside the Top Bonus Challenge just a little bit ago, because one of the amazing rock stars down in Vegas lost a lot of her team members today, and a lot of whom were actually in the challenge. And she said she was having a panic attack. And so we breathed together, meaning you can breathe in deep breaths and breathe out deep breaths. You are slowing your body down. You are going from a sympathetic nervous system state, a fight or flight state that happens when you're panicked and anxiety, into a parasympathetic state, okay? Meaning going into a state of calm. And we can do that by slowing our breath, by not breathing super shallow when we're stressed, to breathing from our bellies. And deep breaths in, belly, like a child breathes out and in, count of 6, and breathe out a count of 6, okay? And breathe in again. Do that 10 times. I promise you, you will feel a shift. And if you're feeling panicked, you're feeling stressed, think of what is just one thought that you can go find in your mind right at that moment that is a slightly better feeling thought right now. What is that one thought that's just, you're like, oh, I can't go there, I can't go. But what is one thought that you can feel right now that is better feeling than the one that you have? And then once you're there, okay, so maybe it's not over. Maybe that's as good as it. Maybe it's not the end of the world, and that feels better than the current thought. And then go from there. What's one thought that's a little bit better than that? Maybe I'll be hired again somewhere else. Okay, great. And what's one thought a little bit higher than that? And you're starting to shift your skin a little by a little by a little. And for you guys in the Top Bonus Challenge who are listening, we're going into a much different side, deeper, in depth on how to change your state right now, but I wanted to give some tools immediately for people who need it. You're trying to grab a little better feeling thought, because before a feeling that you're feeling, if you're feeling a certain feeling, fear, there's a thought that led to that fear, okay? If you're feeling anxiety, you're having thoughts of anxiety. If you're having thoughts of sadness or feelings of sadness, you're feeling sadness in your body, it's because your mind is thinking sad thoughts. So when we can grasp for a slightly better thought, you're going to feel better. And then keep moving that up on the scale of, okay, well, what if it's, I can get a job in the next 30 to 60 days somewhere else? Or what if, maybe this opens up time for my family and I to spend more time. Whatever those thoughts are, we're now going to begin shifting how you're feeling, okay? So I hope those things help. Reach out to me. Let me know how I can help. Share this out for anybody you believe needs to hear this right now. And guys, I want you to know that this industry is bouncing back. It is bigger than ever. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is here to stay. There are cuts that needed to be made. Unfortunately, some of you may have got the brunt of it. And just know, you will be okay. You will be okay. Put your faith and your trust in your higher power and whoever or whatever it is to, when you're ready, feel your feelings, and then start moving into how can I get resourceful now? Okay, how can I get resourceful now? And maybe it's just a few months and you're back. But put time and energy into you and to improving this, instead of listening to the news right now? How can you work on your mind so you feel better and so you start improving your skill set and your mindset that attracts those opportunities to you, okay? Hope this helped in the smallest way possible. And for some of you, maybe even more. I care about you guys. We are going to make this through together. This is not the end of us, I promise you. Big hugs, big love from Seattle. Stay safe. You are safe. You are protected. And you will thrive through this, okay? All right, everyone.